There is something strange about the spiritual journey. We spend years looking for awakening. We meditate. We read books. We listen to teachers. We practice self-inquiry. We try to become more peaceful, more aware, more present. And somewhere in the back of the mind, there is often a quiet expectation. One day it will happen. One day I'll finally awaken. One day I'll experience the truth. One day this restless mind will become completely silent. One day I'll finally feel free. But what if that expectation itself is keeping us waiting? What if awakening isn't something that is going to happen to you in the future? This was one of the most radical aspects of Sri Ramana Maharshi's teaching. And the more I think about it, the more uncomfortable and fascinating it becomes. Because perhaps the question isn't, when will I awaken? Perhaps the real question is, who is waiting to awaken? Think about that for a moment. Who is waiting? Who is looking toward some future moment when everything will finally be complete? Usually the answer seems obvious. I am. I am waiting. I am trying. I am practicing. I am getting closer. But Ramana would ask us to look more closely at this I. Not intellectually, not philosophically, but directly. Who is this I that is waiting for awakening? And what is it actually waiting for? Because notice what happens when we imagine awakening as something in the future. We create a division. There is me here, and awakening somewhere over there. There is the seeker, and there is the destination. There is the person I am now, and the person I hope to become. And the mind becomes busy trying to close the distance between the two. I need to meditate more. I need to understand more. I need to get rid of my ego. I need to have a deeper experience. I need to become more spiritual. And perhaps without realizing it, we turn awakening into another achievement. Something to acquire. Something to reach. Something to become worthy of. But Ramana's teaching points in a completely different direction. He repeatedly directed attention back to the self, the awareness that is present now. Not tomorrow. Not after enlightenment. Now. And this is where the teaching can become difficult to grasp. Because the mind is accustomed to searching for things. If I want a book, I look for a book. If I want knowledge, I study. If I want an experience, I try to create the conditions for that experience. So when someone tells the mind that the self is already present, the mind immediately asks, where is it? How do I find it? What should I do? How long will it take? But notice the contradiction. The one asking these questions is already assuming that the self is somewhere else. And Ramana's invitation was much simpler. Turn attention toward the one who is asking, not toward another experience, not toward another thought, not toward another spiritual concept, toward the one who says, I want awakening. Who is that? Now perhaps you might say, but I don't feel awakened. And that's perfectly understandable. You may still have thoughts. You may still experience fear. You may still become irritated. You may still worry about the future. You may still have moments when the mind feels completely restless. So how can you possibly say that awakening is already here? This is where we have to be careful. Ramana was not necessarily saying that the personality suddenly becomes perfect. He was pointing to something deeper than the personality. Thoughts change. Emotions change. Experiences change. The body changes. Even our sense of identity changes. But something is aware of all these changes. Right now you are aware of these words. You are aware of the thoughts arising as you listen. You are aware of sounds around you. You are aware of sensations in the body. And you don't have to manufacture that awareness. It is already functioning. You don't have to become aware before you can notice awareness. That is what makes this teaching so subtle. We are searching for the very thing through which the search is taking place. It's like trying to find the light while using the light to search. Or like a wave traveling across the ocean looking for the ocean. The wave may travel for miles. It may experience storms. It may become calm. It may rise and fall. But it was never separate from the ocean. Perhaps our spiritual journey is similar. We keep moving towards something we imagine is somewhere ahead. And yet the very awareness in which the journey appears has never been absent. So why do we keep waiting? Because the mind loves the future. The future gives it something to pursue, something to improve, something to hope for. And spirituality can become especially attractive to this mechanism because now the mind has a beautiful goal: awakening, enlightenment, liberation, peace. And the mind says, not yet. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe after another retreat. Maybe after another book. Maybe after I understand self-inquiry properly. Maybe after I have that profound experience. And so the seeker continues, always almost there, always getting closer, but never quite arriving. Have you ever noticed this in your own life? Perhaps there have been moments when you thought, once this problem is resolved, I'll finally be peaceful. And then the problem was resolved, but another one appeared. Or perhaps you thought, when I understand myself better, I'll finally feel complete. But the mind simply produced another question. There is always another mountain, another insight, another destination. And this is why Ramana's teaching is so radical. He doesn't simply give the seeker another destination. He questions the seeker itself. He asks us to investigate the one who is constantly saying, I am not there yet. So let's try something very simple, just for a few seconds. Don't try to become peaceful. Don't try to stop your thoughts. Don't try to have a spiritual experience. Simply notice. There is awareness of this moment. Thoughts may be appearing. Sounds may be appearing. Sensations may be appearing. But before you label any of them, there is awareness. Now ask quietly, who am I? And don't rush to answer. Don't say your name. Don't say your profession. Don't say, I am this body. Don't repeat something you've read in a spiritual book. Just look, who is the one who is aware right now? And perhaps you'll notice something very interesting. The mind wants to produce an answer. But the moment you look directly, there may be no satisfying answer. There is simply this: awareness, presence, being. And perhaps that is why Ramana's teaching doesn't give the mind much to hold on to. There is no special identity to acquire, no future version of yourself to become, no spiritual trophy waiting at the end. The invitation is to turn inward and discover what is already here. This doesn't mean that practice is useless. Meditation can be valuable. Devotion can be valuable. Self-inquiry can be valuable. Spiritual teachings can be valuable. But perhaps their deepest purpose isn't to manufacture the self. Perhaps their purpose is to remove our habitual assumption that the self is absent. And that changes everything. You don't meditate because awareness needs to be created. You meditate to become quiet enough to notice what has always been present. You don't inquire because the self is somewhere far away. You inquire because you've mistaken yourself for something you are not. And perhaps you don't need to wait for awakening at all. Maybe the waiting itself is something to investigate. So the next time you catch yourself thinking, one day I'll finally awaken, pause and ask, who is waiting? Who is this I that believes awakening belongs to the future? And instead of searching for an answer, look, right here, right now, before the next thought, before the next story about who you are, before the next attempt to become something better. What is here? Perhaps nothing needs to arrive. Perhaps nothing needs to be added. Perhaps what you have been searching for has never been absent. And perhaps the most surprising part of Ramana Maharshi's teaching is this: you may not be waiting for awakening. You may be waiting for the idea of yourself who will become awakened. And if that idea is quietly investigated, what remains? That is the question. Not something to answer tomorrow, but something to look into right now.